All right. Okay. So we're gonna last story for the night. Quickly wrap this up. San Francisco will begin paying people to not shoot other people. Initial thoughts.
Is it really that hard not to shoot other people?
Well, let's get into the article. This program will be called the Dreamkeeper Fellowship. That's a really nice name. That's a really nice name. Though likely to be dubbed the cash for criminals in the media. And it will pay select people $300 a month to avoid gun incidents. San Francisco's 56-year low homicide rate of 2019 was not a sustained phenomenon, as gun violence has spiked pretty much everywhere once the COVID-19 pandemic hit. Yeah, that's what started it. San Francisco saw just 14 gun homicides in 2019 and 15 in 2020. But by the end of July 2021, already 21 in the year, and it has 5 more years ago. So they're already on a record high homicide rates. Yeah, because it's more than double what their previous years were.
Yeah, at this point in time.
Yeah. So yeah, so they're so 14 in 2019, 15 in 2020, and they're on pace for over 40. So more than double.
Interesting.
Almost 3 times. And in October, the city will begin a highly unconventional, though not unprecedented, solution. The Examiner reports on a pilot program to begin then that will essentially offer high-risk individuals $300 a month to not shoot anyone or be shot themselves. Wow, that second part really yeah, that second part is really not up to you, really. You know what? You got shot, so you're not getting your $300. You should have known better.
High-risk individuals.
High-risk individuals, gang members. Because most homicides are pertaining to gangs, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Most homicides are not innocent people doing nothing. Oh, I'm just walking down the street and boom, got shot. Doesn't happen. Usually it's gang related.
Yeah, gang on gang action.
Yeah,
usually,
exactly.
Right?
So if you pay the gang members money to not fight each other, I guess that's the thinking.
Yeah. Something tells me this isn't gonna work.
It's called the Dreamkeeper Fellowship. Once again, really good title, and is born from San Francisco Police Department's data showing that more than half of all San Francisco gun killings involve the same 12 criminal groups and gangs. Well, my solution would be to arrest them, but maybe paying them off is good too. The idea is to target those at higher risk of being in either end of shooting with a $300 monthly payment. Okay. Subjects could then receive up to $200 extra for other certain milestones like getting a job interview, complying with probation conditions, or participating in mentoring program in what's sure to be a highly controversial intervention. Okay, so they're paying people to basically be members of society now. Go to a job. Get a job. We'll pay you to get a job.
We'll pay you to try to get a job and not shoot or be shot.
The problem is a lot of these gang-related things is like, okay, so a lot of these people who join gangs, they don't have a lot of skills.
Mm-hmm.
They can't get a good paying job. So the best bet for them financially is to join a gang.
Usually, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. So now they're being financially incentivized to continue to be a part of the gang, but just not kill each other. I just don't think this is good.
I feel like they would try to take advantage of this somehow.
Once they're taking advantage of this, it's basically just you can continue to be a criminal, just don't kill each other.
Let's take the money and invest that money into getting more young people into joining our gang who are not high risk.
Actually, you're right. That's a good example. Like it actually basically says like you've increased the demand for gangs by financially incentivizing it, by like subsidizing it.
Yeah, let's use this money to recruit more members.
I'm a Crip, and I'm thinking, we just don't have the financial resources to expand at this point. The San Francisco government comes in and says, what if we gave you an extra couple $1,000s a month? Oh, okay, that'll help. Yeah, now we'll basically be able to recruit more.
Oh, man.
Jesus fucking Christ.
God.
I love it. What are we talking about is saying we are going to invest resources in this 25-year-old who has 8 previous arrests. It's good money spent. Who is on parole, who is a proud member of neighborhood clique. Clique? I wouldn't call them cliques.
No.
And who is not even seeking services. Okay. National Institute for Criminal Justice Reform Executive Director David Muhammad told the Examiner, it's just not a popular decision to make and may not be a politically palatable, but that's what you have to do in order to reduce gun violence.
I mean, I applaud them for trying something different. I don't know if it's the right thing.
Defunding the police was different. I don't think it was wise, but it was different.
Yeah, I mean, Chicago, they have got the strictest gun laws, and
there you go. Oh,
that doesn't work either.
Look
so.
at that. You're even citing some pretty fucking conservative talking points, aren't you?
Oh, I'm just open, to trying different things.
Okay.
But I don't know if it's going to work.
Yeah, well, we'll see. The fellowship is slated to launch a small pilot program in October. You always start with like a small group, right? There will be only 10 participants. Okay. That's at least somewhat more reasonable at first, which would ramp up to 30 by the end of the year. Damn it. And if successful, would eventually ramp up to as many as 200, 300 participants. Well, that escalated quickly.
Okay, that for something to try,
there's no problem with
pick
like
10 people, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Why not try it? If it works, we'll move up to 30.
Do you know of the study that Vancouver, Canada? Canada tried the sort of universal basic income program with a number of homeless people, and then compared them with the general homeless population. And what it showed was at first it did a lot of good, but by the end of 6 months, the people who had received the basic income were no better off than the general population.
Interesting.
So eventually they just went back to basically living on the streets.
Huh.
But at first it helped them because they were able to stay indoors, be able to clean themselves up, get job interviews. But eventually they just found the study showed that they basically end up back on the streets.
Interesting. Interesting that it helps in the beginning, but then it doesn't really change the situation.
I think that the thing about homelessness is there's much more deep-seated issues than just money. Like most homeless people have had really hard lives. They
probably have a hard time getting a job too.
Yeah, but it's not only that, but like they have severe mental and emotional problems because they had hard childhoods. They are often usually victims of abuse. They probably had drug use and alcohol abuse in the home. They probably have a number of other kind of things going on.
Yeah.
And once that kind of development takes in, it becomes hard to basically socialize later in life.
Yeah. So
it's tough. All right. The idea has been tried before. Okay, really. Notably in California communities of Richmond and Stockton, and has gotten the desired results. A 2019 study of the American Journal of Public Health created the idea that 55% fewer deaths and hospital visits, 43% fewer gun crimes, though, ironically, unexpected increases in non-firearm violence.
I guess I didn't think about that.
Don't shoot each other. Stabbing is okay, but don't shoot each other.
Isn't stabbing usually worse? As far as
Oh yeah, statistically speaking, it's harder to recover from a stab wound than a gunshot wound.
Yeah.
But that's fucking pretty bad. So unexpectedly increases in non-firearm.
Really?
We're just telling you, don't commit gun violence. All right, gotcha. No gun violence. Wink, wink. And then fucking stabby. All right.
Let's crossbow violence.
Crossbow violence. Well, that would actually be pretty badass. I'm gonna say. You see gangs fighting with crossbows in the streets, bow and arrows pulling off. I just imagine gangs fighting with bows and arrows and swords.
Gone back to the days of cowboys.
I'm just saying that's pretty fucking cool. No.
It is funny how people get around things.
Jokes aside, that segment also showed the program's value. Okay. The money is just the bait. They just throw that out there to reel you in. Said Daily Show interview. Okay, Daily Show. Subject and veteran of the Richmond program, Lavon Carter Jr. You've got to complete the goals that
They, I think he's, they said
They said
I think
that a
it's
word?
a typo.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's a typo.
Yeah, that they set up. Yeah. When you get in, they start to teach you real values that nobody in your life taught you before. See, I'm okay with that. I'm really okay with like the education programs to kind of get people to really reconsider the idea of what it means to be like a functioning member of society versus a gang. I just don't know if the financial incentive is actually going to be better.
Yeah, I mean, it makes it easier if they have to subsist and can't get a job in order to get the education.
Right.
But I guess the education is, just as important, if not probably more important than the money itself.
But the idea that you basically here's the thing. I don't know what would actually consider. I don't have a good answer for that. What would make a gang banger, a gangster? I don't know. Not want to be in a gang anymore. Because the problem is the gang offers them a sense of community and family that they didn't probably have at their home. And it offers them financial benefits that they can't get just working on any old job. They need real opportunities for good paying jobs, and they just don't have them. And
Also, getting out of gangs isn't that easy either.
oh, yeah. I don't know
It's not
that
like
for a fact.
you can just put in your 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish it was that
I'm
easy.
done. Done being a crypt here. Just wanted.
But-
I hope find someone to replace me.
But I will say this: I have a friend who's from California, and he grew up kind of in like a, let's just say, like kind of gang culture. Most of his cousins and friends were in gangs.
Okay.
When someone basically, at least from what he told me, if someone basically makes the shows the gang that I'm trying to fly right, I'm trying to do do it the right way, be a good citizen and all that. Like they don't like try to drag you down. From what he explained, he said no, they're actually really accommodating and supportive of that.
Okay.
At least in his experience, they were like no, that was like his experience because like they don't want to basically drag people down if they think that this person's doesn't want to be. And I'm thinking of the movie Gran Torino. Have you seen that movie?
Yeah, it's been on a long time.
I really like that movie. But one of the things in that movie is like there's the one kid, the main kid of the movie, who the gangs really want to recruit, and he's basically trying to, get a job, be a good citizen, try to do all the right things, and they don't care. They just want him to be part of the gang, so they fucking harass him until he joins.
Yeah, I mean, does that happen?
Well, I don't know. I mean, that's a good question. Like, what do you think that? I'd have to ask people who have more experience with gangs than I do because I don't have any experience. But my question,
like, I have a lot of family members that are in the gang.
It's a lot of his family too. But that'd be a couple good questions for people because I don't know because like, do the gang members like when they see someone who's trying to fly straight and trying to do the right thing, do they sort of support that and say like, okay, you know what? We're not going to try to recruit him because he's trying to do the right thing? Or do they sort of say, like, nah, we can convince him otherwise. We can pull him into the fold. We can get him to join the gang. I don't know. I don't know enough about that sort of
Is it all gangs, too? Like, I imagine, like, cartels can be a little bit more harsh.
Isn't a cartel a gang, though?
Yeah, it's just more...
more organized?
I guess so.
Like the mob. The mob is a gang. It's just organized.
Yeah, exactly. It's like with the mob, you can't really leave the mob, right?
I don't know.
That's the idea, right?
I only know one Italian.
The mob is not nearly what it used to be, though.
Yeah, it's a fucking joke now. No, I don't mean to say that. Anyways, that's interesting though. It's an interesting program. I'll have to check back on that, see if it's successful. All right.
Or do we see a spike in non-violent or non-firearm?
Non-firearm, because if stabbings are going up at the same rate that gun rates are going down, then I don't think that's a success.
Kind of defeating the purpose.
All right.